Could you imagine covering 3 videos made in the same format about the same movie? We'll get to that. And that. Okay, you know what? Here's every video I can think of that I will cover eventually. Also, High Road Media covered this video too, so if you hate me and can tolerate 720p video quality, go check him out. By the way, Jeremy never gives these kids names, so we're calling this kid Mike, this kid Nona, this kid Mandark, and this kid Billy because that's his actual name.
My name is Billy!
The first 5 seconds of this movie are black screen.
To be pedantic, it's technically the first 3 seconds, but that's besides the point. Even though I still think the logo sin is dumb, I decided to let you have it because I can kind of understand. I've seen the Family Guy gag. But why sin this? Literally every movie in existence starts with a blank screen. This is done to ease people into the movie. I'd argue it'd be weirder if right after Nicole Kidman finished her pretentious speech, the screen just went BAM! Movie!
But also, this movie got 3 studio logos in and out inside of 19 seconds. That gives me a locomotive to remove a sin.
Damn it, that locomotive pun was really good.
The radiator steaming off at the same time the Polar Express engine steams off, and okay, I know what kind of movie this is now, and it can go f*** itself. I prefer movies that use train steam whistles as a sexual orgasm metaphor, thank you very much. Also, his parents don't hear this.
I'll give you the other kids in the neighborhood, but the Polar Express probably works similar to the Bell. It and its actions can't be heard, seen, or felt by those who don't believe. Or, to put it bluntly, adults.
Okay. I believe. I believe.
Oh, what a beautiful bell. Who's it from?
Santa.
Santa? Really? Oh, that's too bad.
What's this? Broken. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell. But as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe.
I guess this is only visible to kids, because there's enough light coming from these trailing train cars to wake up the whole neighborhood if they are actually visible.
That thing I just said.
I'm not sure how old this kid is, but I'm guessing he's not quite walk out and explore a magical train that parked in my yard without consulting my parents or an ounce of fear years old.
Unfortunately, most children will often do dangerous things because they're exciting. Since Mike is still hesitant about believing in Santa, he's probably young enough to investigate a mysterious magic train without consulting anyone.
Is this you?
Yeah.
Well, it says here, no photo with the department store Santa this year. No letter to Santa. And you made your sister put out the milk and cookies. Sounds to me like this is your crucial year. If I were you, I would think about climbing on board. What exactly is your persuasion on the big man, since you brought him up?
Well, I want to believe. But
you don't want to be bamboozled. You don't want to be led down the primrose path.
You don't want to be caught
or duped. Have the wool pulled over your eyes. Hoodwinked. You don't want to be taken for a ride. Railroaded! Seeing is believing. Am I right?
But what about this train?
What about it?
We're all really going to the North Pole, aren't we?
Aren't we?
Are you saying that this is all just a dream?
You said it, kid! Not me.
There are no seatbelts on the Polar Express.
There are also no seatbelts on actual trains. Sure, the Polar Express does have some crazy rides, but one of them is stated to be unplanned, and the other can be inferred to be unplanned.
Dividend Christmas, the ice is frozen over the tracks!
Have all these kids ridden the Polar Express before? And if so, why didn't they learn the lessons of Christmas the first time? And why did they all get second chances?
Judging by the way the kids act throughout the movie, no, these kids did not ride the Polar Express before. Meaning your following questions are based on a false premise.
Punching a ticket 24 times to create a shape for comedic effect.
It's not for comedic effect, it's for thematic effect. The conductor specifically cut out these letters to give the kids a hint as to what lesson they will learn.
He screams like anyone can hear him on this moving train in this torrential snow downpour.
Nona and the conductor were in front of him, so it's not unreasonable for him to try.
I realize most of this movie is a dream or an allegory or an allodream, but there's no way that hobo could start or maintain an open flame on top of a moving train.
The hobo is clearly implied to be a ghost, so the fire is probably magic.
Do you believe in ghosts? Interesting.
This hoes on for some time. Also, frostbite, sitting frostbite, because both this hobo and this child riding on the roof of a moving train in a snowstorm should have really bad frostbite by now. Like, in real life, this kid loses a foot, maybe even a shin.
I'll give you Mike, but this hobo is a ghost, so it's reasonable to infer that he can't get frostbite.
But you don't want to be bamboozled. You don't want to be led down the primrose path.
Actually, the primrose path just means taking the easy way and experiencing a life of pleasure and ease. It's being led down the garden path that means being deceived. Come on, Hobo Hanks, you should know better.
Actually, some sources cite the primrose path as being the easy way that may end in disaster. So what the hobo was actually implying was that Mike didn't want to go an easy but dangerous path. That, in this case, means believing everything without critical thinking.
Deus ex hobo ghostina.
The hobo was introduced before this scene, so it doesn't count as a deus ex machina. In order to be a deus ex machina, the hobo has to have never shown up at all before this scene.
So after helping save a life, train top hobo man turns to dust?
Yeah, the hobo ghost can disappear and reappear at will.
Holy that Bruce Almighty Moon's so big, we might have to start calling the Bruce Almighty Moons Polar Express Moons. Seriously, did Iron Man piss off Thanos again? Is that why the hobo got dusted?
Here is a very real picture of the moon provided to us by 3 Birdman. Also Christmas magic.
Why is the train track from here to the city so f***ing zigzaggy? This is just wasteful of materials, time, gasoline, etc.
Gasoline? Jeremy, it's an old-timey train. It runs on coal, not gasoline.
Sudden hobo reappears to save the day, and I hate him so much.
The hobo doesn't save the day in this scene. He's just there to vibe.
But since it's Christmas, I'm gonna let you slide.
So, elves are dicks, then? I just want to be clear that we all agree that elves are dicks.
Considering Mandark's behavior throughout the whole movie, he kinda earned at least this. That and the elves have been making toys 24/7, 365. It's hard to blame them for being kinda dickish.
Crowd surfing reindeer!
Technically, these reindeer are flying over the crowd rather than crowd surfing. You wouldn't consider this crowd surfing, would you? I know this is a nitpick, but the Cinemasins boys do this all the time to movies, so they should be okay with it being done to them.
As we pan back on them singing Santa Claus is coming to town, I'm left to wonder why the North Pole needs 17,000 employees.
Jeremy, they make a toy for over 1 billion children a year, and all of them are supposed to be delivered in one night. You kinda need a lot of employees to make that happen.
Pro tip on ringing a sleigh bell, or really any bell, don't hold it by the bell part. It absolutely wouldn't make a ringing sound like this, and you'll be stuck never believing in Santa forever.
Considering this is a magic bell that can only be heard by people who believe, it's safe to say that this bell doesn't follow the usual laws of sound.
Sigh. No human can cut holes in any kind of paper this quickly.
The conductor isn't an ordinary human being. He's clearly a magical immortal.
Leaving the front door open. Were you born in a digital barn?
Jeremy, chill. Billy only leaves it open for a minute while he's right next to it.
He sneaks back into his house undetected because his parents don't exist.
Or they're fast asleep by now since it's past midnight. From their perspective, Mike never left, and they can't hear, see, or feel the Polar Express. There's no where are they now for this video because you know where they are now. Cinemasins is still making the same type of videos, and they'll keep making them till they're 90. But here's something interesting. The Polar Express 2 is in the works. Now, it's in very early stages of development, so much so that Warner Brothers might can it before anything is shot. Or, they could finish the whole movie and then have some jackass delete it for a tax write-off. All we know now is that producer Gary Goetzman confirmed that WB is working on it, and it will likely have a 2028 release. Now that all the facts are laid out, it's time to speculate. Will it be mocap animated? Probably not, since people criticize the mocap for looking creepy both now and 20 years ago. Also, the last fully animated motion capture movie was one of the biggest flops of 2011. Maybe we'll have a new art style that's more aesthetically appealing. Who is coming back? Well, the kids are all adults now, so unless you want the kids to have adult voices, probably just Tom Hanks. Though the kids could be recast. Or the film will follow them as adults. Maybe we could follow the adult narrator Hero Boy. The film could also be a completely new set of characters, but who knows. Is Robert Zemeckis directing? Probably. It's not like Zemeckis has a reason not to. What will be the plot? Who knows? Frankly, I think this idea is stupid because the first movie is a pretty self-contained story. Like, what would you even do? Some new kids are on the Polar Express? Some other adventure involving Santa and the kids all grown up? Is it gonna be about another holiday icon? Will it be a prequel about the origin of Santa, or the conductor, or the Polar Express itself? I don't know. The whole thing feels like a cash grab. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching and happy holidays.